Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Pokemon Platinum. Last time, we began exploring all the nooks and crannies of Sinnoh that we can now access with HM03 Surf. We started with those previously unseen routes south of Sandgem Town. This time, we find ourselves north of Floaroma Town at the entrance to Fuego Ironworks, where, well, we're going to be exploring that as well here today. Let's get started. This place is, believe it or not, a bit of an optional dungeon. I don't know if I'm remembering this right, but I think in Diamond and Pearl you couldn't run in here and it was frustrating. There was something about it in Diamond and Pearl that was more frustrating. I want to say it was that. Very worth your time to come here, even if you don't like these movement tile puzzles a la Team Rocket. There are a lot of good items that you can find, and there are some trainers for you to battle as well. Speaking of which, I'm going to need to battle this guy to keep progressing. I work in the Fiery Foundry. You bet I'm hot and sweaty! TMI, buddy. TMI. I sincerely hope you don't want a hug, and just in case you do, we are shoving you off into the background while we go over new encounters. How do you like that? In before people tell me I forgot to do the encounters last time when I was just waiting to do them in here when we got into a trainer battle. First of which is Magnemite. This is encountered anywhere from levels 28 to 30, and it evolves into Magneton at level 30. In addition to that, it evolves into Magnezone if leveled up one time in Mount Coronet. You can get this fully evolved almost instantly out of the box. It's great. As a Magnezone, it can be taught Mirror Coat through a heart scale, which is definitely worth noting. Has a really high special attack, is pretty bulky. Steel type, of course, gives it a lot of nice resistances. But if I had one criticism of the Magnemite family, it's that especially as Magnezone, a lot of its good level up moves come super late. So I would suggest, if you want to raise this, we did just get a TM24 Thunderbolt at Valley Windworks, and you can buy more of those at the game corner. Consider using that. Let's keep going. There are a lot of items here, and I guess to be fair, I'm not really under any pressure to get them all in one go. Calcium! Wow. Something tells me that people who don't go through and do all these things are going to be kind of kicking themselves later. Supernova, you're the only one... No. I'm gonna be hanging on to this item a little bit later. I guess you can throw that onto the pile of hints toward what Pokemon I will be using on my team next! Protein! I didn't even know that was there for sure. I was just making a random guess at where I would find an item. Scythe, you can take that. Dang! Where to go? I always get lost in these rooms, so I apologize. I'm gonna be here a while, but hey. I think down here? Sound effect's really neat now that I'm kind of being quiet for a second hearing it. No, bring me back. Okay, good, it's gonna bring me back. You are a spinner. I like how the front and back of your pants looks completely identical. See that? Oh, come on! Well, it's not often we get a visitor like you to the Ironworks. Let's mark the occasion with a battle. I can only imagine how boring this guy's job must be if he had nothing better to do than troll me like that. I guess this works out okay, considering I had to go over the remaining encounter at least some point in this video. So, I'll say that you're a silver lining, as silver is the Magnemite that you just sent out. And speaking of which, at Fuego Ironworks, they must really love Pokemon that begin with Mag in their names and evolve right out of the box, because our second encounter and our final one is none other than the butthead himself, Magmar! The Magmar family are mixed attackers, and this is helped by the physical special split, of course. We've had the Magmarizer, the item necessary for Magmar to evolve, for some time now, so like I said, you can evolve it right away. Magmortar is one of the more bizarre new evolutions to come around in Diamond Pearl Platinum, at least in my opinion. It does gain a respectable 25 special attack over what Magmar had, so I think it is worth it for that alone. But its other stats only go up by 10 points each, with the exception of speed, which actually drops by 10 points when it evolves from Magmar. It's nothing unusual for Pokemon to focus on different stats after they evolve, but it is worth at least noting. With a heart scale, Magmortar can be taught Thunder Punch, which might be nice in the way of type coverage, give you a way of dealing with water types. I also suppose you could see it as a jack of all trades, considering its only really bad stat is defense, but hey, up to you what you want to use it for. I don't think it's a bad Pokemon, just a very bizarre one, but hey, if I had a butt on my head, I think I'd be pretty relieved to see that when I grow up, I would instead have an arm cannon. I'd say that's a pretty good trade-off, because it evolves through trading. I shouldn't explain things. We're done with this battle. fire, and only once more because I feel like it. Fire! Okay, that battle was worth it if only to see that quote. Get a red shard right there. And if I go down there, I am going to be skipping that. Let's see where this goes. Keep going. Keep going. Not like I really have a choice in the matter, but keep going anyway, so I feel like I'm at least somewhat in power. Get this, get a blue shard. Getting awfully predictable with these items. You're gonna be... green shard? Yes! It's like I know how to call them. It's like I know how this game works, or like I know the 4 colors that the shards are in this game and just use process of elimination. Where do I go now? I guess I can only go this way? I'm just trying to step very carefully. The worst thing about these areas is when you step on the wrong tile and you have to redo everything you've worked for up to that point. I swear that was not on purpose. Wow. Where I really wanted to go was after taking this really long winding route, quite literally, I wanted to go onto this tile. That allows us to get another shard. No, a Firestone. One of these things is not like the other. I guess in more ways than one, considering we also had the vitamins here, so it's also true of that. Okay, so that'll take me... That takes me up and out. You take me... I think you're the safest bet. Yes! I hope. Please. Good. I'm just so afraid of having that happen again where I have to redo this and... No! No, 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 no! No! Ugh. Said it once, I will say it again. Circle pad! You think for somebody who was defending playing games that use a D-pad with the circle pad in earlier videos, I'd have a much easier time with it. There's the rock incense. Getting even more variety with these items. Boost the power of rock-type moves. Do I need that? Not really. At least not for right now, and you have no way of knowing for certain if I am talking about a new team member, or if I'm talking about just simply a new move I'm considering. Yeah, not suave at all. I won't even try. You... Oh, God. Let's go back over this way. And then go down. And then I think it's this one? I've been trying to take notes of my surroundings and get this exactly right. Is that the way I just took? Because if so, that's pretty funny. I never thought my sense of direction was particularly bad, but this is just laughable. Inside of that drum was a star piece. I am very, very glad that I checked that. Why? You will see so momentarily. After I fight this guy, of course. Are you maybe getting Yes! You understand the struggle. This man gets it. I think it's annoying enough just having to go through this building one time with these tiles. You have to work in these conditions every day. You know what? We need to go down to the Better Business Bureau. You can report Mr. Fuego. I'm going with that. And I can report Jubilife TV. Mutually beneficial. And we can keep each other company on the way. I say it's a pretty sound way to go in case either one of those companies wants to wipe us out for defamation or anything of the sort. Right in front of the works themselves, we can get TM35 Flamethrower. You can buy these in the game corner, or you can find this one. Either or. Really good. And, oh, his name actually is Mr. Fuego. I was just guessing. Wow. Again, my memory is more keen than I thought it was. Well, hello. It's not often I get a visitor here. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe this is how he keeps the complaints away, by just hoping that his workers aren't smart enough to figure out how to get to the center. I tried to make the Ironworks run better with the moving floor tiles. Buddy, I think when you see your reports at the end of the month, you're gonna see productivity is down about, probably about 102%. But no one was happy about it. They said the moving floor made them dizzy. But you don't want to listen to me whine. Here's a souvenir. We get a star piece from him. My Ironworks makes iron by removing impurities from iron ore. In the process, we find a wide variety of colored shards. If you'd like, we can trade star pieces for those shards. This is why I was so happy I just obtained a star piece. The good news is, if you're playing Platinum, when you get to the end and you talk to Mr. Fuego, you are able to trade in 1 star piece for 1 of each color of shard. Really helpful if you want to use those move tutors, and it's just a really nice thing to have. It wasn't like this in Diamond and Pearl. In all previous games, star pieces were merely for selling, but here, they have a unique, distinct purpose from other selling items. The bad news, however, is that you have to come here every time you want to do this. This guy just must really hate getting business. And now I remember why I didn't like this place in Diamond and Pearl. When you got to the end of this dungeon, all Mr. Fuego himself gave you for reaching the end was a Firestone. And yes, that item ball that gives you a Firestone in the upper right corner of this building was still there in Diamond and Pearl. It was so weird that they just had your reward be a Firestone when you'd already picked up one for going through here. Well, at least we're done here now, and at least this is not Diamond and Pearl. My sense of direction is that bad I must really be getting old. Let us never speak of that place again, even though I will most certainly want to move from a move tutor, be barely able to not afford it, realize that I have a star piece in my inventory, come back here and suffer through it all again off screen. I will know your pain if you ever do this either. So, this is the back entrance to that huge meadow of flowers in Floaroma Town. There are a lot of hidden items all throughout this patch of flowers. It would take so long for me to find them all, so I think I'm just gonna speed things up and see what I get. Ooh, Miracle Seed. Buffs the power of grass type moves. I've had a Meadow Plate for a while, but I think I got that underground, so if you didn't, that can be definitely nice. Ultra Ball. Who just leaves these things in Field of Flowers? I hope they're not offerings for nature, otherwise I'm gonna be cursing these people with some bad harvests in the future. A rare candy, that's definitely welcome.
Wow!
Man, no wonder this place is so beautiful and brimming with life. If I were like a god of nature and I was being given offerings like max revives, PP ups, and jars of honey, I think I would bless this land too. Eterna City has got one new thing for us, but if you are playing along and using the same team as me, I think you're gonna find this one rather interesting. Moonstone. That is the first time that we've been able to get a guaranteed Moonstone. Not out of luck with Wild Clefas, not out of luck with the Underground. That one is outright guaranteed. With that, we can evolve Clefairy absolutely anytime we want to. It's only 2 levels away from getting its last level up move, so I think after all this time that we have come with it, it would be kind of a waste to not just wait it out 2 more levels. Besides, if I get really desperate for it, we have more rare candies that I know what to do with. We could always use some of those. Out on Route 207 to the north of Orberg, we want to head into Mount Coronet now. I have been recording, to give you an idea how long this has been going, uncut, I have been recording for about an hour and 10 minutes. Granted, I'm willing to bet probably an hour and 5 minutes of that was spent fumbling around in Fuego Ironworks, but still, this should give you an idea of just how much there is to do once you have Surf. Want to surf in the water over here after getting that protein that I was too busy freaking out over how long I've been recording to acknowledge, to get a Dawnstone. I suppose if you're raising multiple Pokemon that evolve through it, that might be helpful to you, but we've had access to one for a while now. And that protein, that can go on Bodhi. You simply can't go wrong with Route 209's music. Unless, of course, that music is about to be interrupted by the surf theme. I like the Sinnoh surf theme, but it's no Route 209. You just don't beat that. There is a reason why it's such a beloved route theme in a game where a lot of people don't usually talk about the music. So that if we go over this way, you guessed it, another item. TM19 Giga Drain. Stronger than Mega Drain, and it restores half the damage done to you as health. Could use that on Bodhi, but I don't think I can buy that TM, so once again, going by my own personal self-imposed rule, not gonna do that. On to Veilstone City. Just to the south of Veilstone, in fact. This body of water has been taunting us for so long. I knew that there was an item on it. I'm sure many of you did as well. So let's see at long last what it was. Rare candy! For how unexcited I've been about those recently— Wait a minute! The Maniac Tunnel is right over there, like just a few steps that way. And your reward for getting all the unknown is the same item that is just out here sitting in the open in the same route. Wow. I knew that my reward for those unknown was going to be a rare candy from experience. But wow, when you make somebody who's played through Sinnoh however many times that I've done it by now feel like they've wasted their time even more than on any previous playthrough by doing that, you know your designers are jerks. Good work. On to Pastoria City, though. This is going on for a really long time. We have water in town. And in it, there are 2 cruise ships just kind of sitting there not doing anything other than blocking our way, as well as a mystic water. I've never understood why they did this. I always thought it was just such a weird random detail that there's just boats docked here. It's not like you could reach them without surf either. Maybe just 2 boats tried to pass through this really narrow passageway between these rocks at the same time and got stuck and it became a historical landmark? I could believe it. Dumber things have been made into landmarks in the Pokemon world. As a bit of a side note, while we're using surf so much, watch what happens when I use fly while I am surfing. Yeah, we just leave behind the Pokemon that we were surfing on. It stays in our party and everything, so no harm done. But I want to bring up a very realistic scenario to you. Let's say that you have a Pelipper, and you are surfing on it, and then you use fly. Explain that. Out to the east of Pastoria, we can interrupt this very generic music for your regularly scheduled surfing theme to see that there is a whole pathway over here. This route is a lot bigger than it might seem at first glance. It's kind of neat, I guess, but the thing that I will warn you about is that other than me getting completely lost and not going on the pathway that I was wanting to go, once again, is the fact that the trainers on this route are really, really tough. Like, be prepared to use some items or at least go back and heal between fights a lot, because they don't fool around. I'm not really sure why that is that they do. Wow. A moving spinner. You don't really see those every day whenever you're playing any Pokemon game. Let's sneak past you, please. 1 step! 1 step. Really? Okay, Wingull. I don't really care to fight you, so I'm just gonna run from this battle like I always do. I've learned my lesson. I will not take a single step without a repel for the next 10 minutes or so. I really never learned from that. Let's get this. Another max Wow. I'm sorry, Ore. I think your title of most generous items on the ground is being challenged by Sinnoh. We might have to have a face-off with that someday. Granted, there aren't any sort of item balls in Sinnoh that give you like 5 of the same item, but still, it's pretty darn dense with really great items. I can go through here and sneak past you. I kind of would like to fight 1 trainer on this route on screen, but I'm not gonna fight them unless they notice me out of pure chance, or if I have to progress. So we'll see. Maybe this swimmer will be it. I kind of hope so. I kind of hope not. Double battle could be fun. You know, actually, we haven't really done a whole lot of fighting this video. Let's make this happen. We'll try to see if we can get a double battle going. This guy's looking away, and we'll go between them. I had to fight her anyway, I guess, because I don't think she's a spinner. Brr, starting to get chilly. Could use a wind to get warmed up. Don't get hypothermia, please. Don't use that as an excuse. Like, seriously, don't sue me if you end up in the hospital after losing this battle, saying, like, he didn't let me win this battle, so I got hypothermia. Please don't do that. That's not good. Golduck and Finneon. Okay, so Finneon's not really all that tough, and level 33 is not really all that high. Strange. I remember the trainers on this route being really tough. I'm a little bit scared now that there's something I'm just not thinking of. Wood Hammer on that Golduck is probably the best use of my time. And then Supernova, you can have fun doing Metronome as per usual. Just because in double battles, as long as I'm damaging at least something that turn, I don't feel like I'm wasting my time if Metronome gives me something stupid. And besides, if it does, I get to have a nice good laugh about it. Doing Water Pulse. You're a Finneon, so you're just going to suck at that. Thank you, buddy. Waggle your finger in his tree. Dragon Rush! Not as powerful as I would have hoped. Another Golduck. Let's see. Metronome. And once again, Wood Hammer. Gonna make me sit through this. All 5 hits, isn't it? No, just 3. Okay. I can live with that. Always 5 when it's the AI. Never any different. At least this isn't Gen 1 where if just one of those hits criticals, they all critical. So dumb. Come on. Just want to see what I get on Metronome. Stop wasting my time with your crappy attacks, Finneon. It's not like your attacks are really worth anything. I swear if that's the difference between me killing myself, Haze. If you want to look at it from a double meaning standpoint, I guess Supernova just really loved all the hazing I was doing on Finneon and decided to join right in. Seriously, Finneon, just... I'm healing this turn, because Bodhi is down to 22 health, and Bodhi, I care about you way too much to ever let you have any possibility of losing to Finneon. I really do. You would never live that down. Yeah, stop wasting my time with your water pulses. It's not like it's going to do anything worthwhile, especially not to a Clefairy. Or maybe it will. Come on, Supernova. Come on. Yeah, I knew you were better than to hurt yourself in confusion in the presence of a Finneon. I'm just really laying it on thick here. And I get one of the most useless attacks in the game, Kinesis. That's an accuracy-lowering move that's exclusive to the Alakazam family, yet it's got bad accuracy itself. It's like 70% or something like that. It's a really terrible move, and you'd think it would be a lot better if it were exclusive to Alakazam, but hey. Bodhi, you can drain its health. Hey, now, Finneon, you see it like this. Now you will actually be worth something. Your fainting is contributing to the life force of a Torterra. I'd say that's a pretty good step up, wouldn't you? Yeah. Okay, well, at least it's not on the screen anymore, so those Finneon fans won't get upset at me for saying things like that. I think Finneon's cute and everything. It's just that, yeah, it's a really, really outclassed Pokemon. Pelipper! I sincerely hope this Pelipper is a challenge, because if not, I'm just gonna sound like an idiot for saying that the trainers on this route were tough. Maybe this is just like the one easy battle that I had to fight, but I specifically remember in other playthroughs coming here to get these items and thinking to myself, wow, these trainers are really tough. Maybe I just didn't have an electric type on my team, so this Pelipper was tough to take out because of its type? I really don't know. It survived the Wood Hammer at least, so there's Pelipper's bulk, even without a type advantage kind of coming into play. Thunderbolt was going to finish it off regardless, though. I'd be really surprised if it didn't. Go ahead and very slowly regain your HP, Supernova, with that Shell Bell. And Bodhi grows to level 37. Wasn't expecting that with that experience bar off screen. It's funny how much games after Gen 1 spoil you. The coldness of defeat is a double whammy. What's saltier, my tears or the sea? That's very sad, gross, depressing, many things at the same time, actually. I do not want to surf. I want to grab the Water Stone. Definitely worth noting, once again. Really good items. Let's just get out of here now that we are done. I think that's everything that we came for. Off to Pastoria. Or more aptly, out on Route 212 near Pastoria City, because we don't do surfing in any of those towns, except Pastoria City, of course, so that was kind of the only town that I shouldn't say that about. On this little, not island, more like a peninsula, just with 2 trees conveniently placed, you can find TM84 Poison Jab. I personally have no use for this. Crobat can't learn that, and why would I teach a poison type move when I'm not a poison type getting same type attack bonus? I don't know, but maybe you are raising a Toxicroak, even though that it learns at my level up, I'm pretty sure. Never mind. It's just one of those really niche moves. Maybe you have a use for it, maybe you don't. That is the last important thing that I wanted to show that you can get with Surf. I know that I'm logically not going to get every single hidden item in the game working purely off of memory or just from doing live commentary, but I try to do my best to just show different ones that people find useful or people particularly want to see or have been asking for or pointed out to me that I think are interesting. So yeah, once again, not trying to get every hidden item out there, but if I remember it or I find it particularly useful, I will try to show it. Speaking of which, there's a couple of those that I glossed over and I would like to show those right now. On Southern Route 204, we can surf into this water, and yeah, item ball right here that I can't pick up while surfing. Sea Incense. It increases the power of water-type moves, and it lets female Merrills and Azumarill breed Azurill eggs. Simple as that. Last time in our visit to Twinleaf Town, I looked at this water, this little tiny rectangular pond, and I was like, aren't you glad we came here to use surf? Well, you should be. Something I didn't know that you guys taught me about is that there's random encounters here. No, what I was trying to say is that this... Man, no wonder I'm so unstable. If this thing is in front of my house, that means I grew up drinking water from a Psyduck pond. Don't make me use a max repel on this little inconsequential pond, because I'll do it. I really will. I was wanting to show that right here is a hidden odd keystone. This item I think is more cool than it is useful because there's already an NPC in Platinum that gives you a free odd keystone. You do need to not only have a second odd keystone, but talk to 32 more people in the underground to make a second Spiritomb appear. So you'd be kind of unlikely to do that, but I guess it's there if you wanted to trade an extra Spiritomb to a friend for them to keep or something. But at that point, you'd really just be better off finding a way to breed a Spiritomb, so I don't personally find it that useful. Also over in Celestic Town, this is not related to surfing, but something that I could show off, that I didn't, that I was actually meaning to, is that if you go down here and talk to this guy, I'm strong! I'm strong! When you consider the proportions of this world, he's like standing on the edge of a cliff and just shouting this over like the sunrise. I'm strong! I'm strong! I'm strong! I'm strong! I'm strong! I'm strong! Am I really? No! I am strong! Strong! Okay, I'm all good to go. Wah! You startled me good! Think you'll understand what I was doing when you see this TM! TM 77! Let me explain how that move works without getting too technical, like a machine. Let's say your opponent raises its defense using Harden. Your Pokemon can use Psych Up to get the same defense boost as its foe. Basically, your Pokemon gets the same status boost as its target. Actually kind of a helpful move. I've seen it useful in a few Pokemon over the years. There are some that learn it through level up, but again, I am trying to show every TM, so that is definitely worth me showing. Meant to do that on our first visit to Celestic Town, but just kind of slipped my mind in the moment, but at least we got it now. You can see how I would have thought that guy was a trainer just glancing off of him from memory. That is every single item I wanted to show. I really hope. If I miss anything, it's not like this is going to be the last time that we'll be going around Sinnoh once we get a new HM move. There are plenty more HM moves that will be doing things like this when we get them. I don't think any of them have quite as many items as Surf, but there's some that come pretty darn close. Now, with all that done, I think we're gonna end things off here. Next time on Pokemon Platinum, we leave Jubilife City to the west and continue on with our adventure. See you guys then.